reform, the kind of changes that you want to introduce, the kind of new judiciary that everybody thinks of. But these are only available to people who are in their 40s and 50s, as some of our nominees are. How can I perform? Like I said, there will be certain skills that I can bring into the job. There will be certain abilities and functions that I can perform with some qualification. I have been executive secretary, and of course, and now perhaps I am looking at Undersecretary Musngi, coming from the Office of the President. The Office of the President, in the Office of the Executive Secretary, acts like a small Supreme Court. What does it do? Every decision of every line department is in fact appealable to the Office of the President. Just as, unfortunately, I think, far too many decisions are appealable to the Supreme Court. And at one point, I would like to discuss why this has happened. And perhaps it should not happen. But in the Office of the President, that is exactly the legal situation. Every decision from an executive department is appealable to the Office of the President. So much of what you will expect from a Supreme Court Justice or from a Supreme Court Chief Justice, you would have already been able to develop in the executive office, in the position of executive secretary. Do you have a legal department? Yes, and it is a large one. It is a very large one. Do you have lawyers who do nothing but decisions? Yes, you do. Are these decisions signed by them? No, they are not. Who are they signed by? By you as executive secretary. Is that any different from the work that an associate justice will do in the Supreme Court? I don't think so. Neither the Chief Justice. In fact, much of the work of the Chief Justice, which people say is 70–75% executive, is the work done by the executive secretary on a daily basis. On a daily basis. So what can I bring? In the 3 years that I can bring perhaps a new perspective, perhaps some talents that you have developed in your career in the executive and in the legislative branches of government. Perhaps you can be able to say, well, a lot of the things that you are looking at, I have looked at. It is not necessary to keep looking at every system and every question as a matter of reinventing the wheel. No. What you can bring is precisely that. Some ability, some experience, and perhaps some usefulness that you can bring to the Supreme Court.
Didiretso na po ako dun sa mga tweeted questions para naman may accommodate natin. No? The first two tweeted questions that I would like to read are interrelated. Yung una po, hindi ba problema ang pagiging politiko ninyo sa pagpasok ninyo sa Korte Suprema? Yung pangalawa po, should a politician head the Supreme Court? How can you shed your political past if up to now you would like to be addressed as congressman?
Hindi naman po, one of the more successful Chief Justices was Chief Justice Fernan. And way before he entered the judiciary, he was in politics. And he was pretty successful too, representing a real constituency in Cebu. I don't think that politics is that far from the judiciary in the sense that both are really part of public life. I think you can make an easy transition if you do not carry too much baggage. And that really asks me now, do I have baggage? Yes, of course, everybody has. But do I have enough so that I should be disqualified? I don't think so. But that is, of course, not for me to decide. That is for you to decide. In the end, I have some experience, I have some qualifications, and I think I have the kind of heart that is needed. It is not a question of being a politician. I don't think that is a disqualification. In fact, I would think that it is a qualification. It gives you a better sense of how to deal with people. It gives you a better sense of how to answer questions and how to supply solutions for very large problems. Whether you are in the judiciary, whether you are in Congress, whether you like to be addressed as attorney, as I could have so easily said, why don't you just address me, Justice Peralta's attorney? But that is not being honest. I think everybody calls me congressman. Why don't I get called here? I would look a little plastic. And that's not exactly what you want to see sitting before you.
Paano ninyo susugpuin ang practice ng huweting lords ng pagbibigay ng huweting money sa mga public officials kabilang ng maraming judges?
Matagal na yung problemang wetting. Ako sa tingin ko, ang wetting ay tanggap ng ordinaryong tao. Kung titingnan ninyo, hindi nila tinitingnan ng wetting yung ito piso, ito 2 piso, tumataya ka. Ang katotohanan ay, nung kami ay nasa gobyerno, tiningnan namin mabuti kung pwede ma-legalize ang wetting para hindi lang ang wetting lord na nakikinabang, kundi ang gobyerno. Sapagkat kung rini-regulate mo, ibig sabihin, pinapatawan mo ng taxes. Ano nang nangyayari dito? Walang taxes ang gobyerno, suhol ang nakukuha ng pulis at gaya ng sinabi nila ng mga politiko, yung ba ay mas maganda? Sa tingin ko, hindi magandang kalagayan yan. Hindi po. Mas mabuti pa na pag-aralan natin ang mabuti. Tingnan natin kung paano natin magkakaroon ng isang kalagayan na lahat ay nakikinabang. Maski anong gawin mo, ang tao ay tataya. Kung tataya ang tao, tingnan naman natin, baka pwede hindi lang pulis, hindi lang politiko makinabang, kundi ang gobyerno. Ibig sabihin na babalik sa ordinaryong tao ang linalagay niya sa wetting.
Hindi lang mga huwes. Salamat po. Yun na po yung panghuling katanungan ko and good luck po, Congressman Zamora.
Justice Nagman, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Congressman Zamora, good morning.
Good morning.
Dahil po kayo ay nagsalita sa ating wikang pambansa, ay pipilitin kong